Hey everybody, it's time for another Ask JAT, where I answer your questions submitted at my website, jamesarnoldtaylor.com, under the JAT Show menu. And of course, it wouldn't be Ask JAT without JAT himself, James Arnold Taylor, me, here to answer your questions for me, or him, or us.
Or us.
Or
yeah, me. Or you.
I don't know. Yes.
Either.
Anyways, okay. Question number 1, Jat, is from Michael Williams, who asks, regarding a voice artist's diet, I understand why you would keep away from alcohol and only drink water at room temperature during sessions, but what properties of milk and sugar are detrimental to one's vocal cords? Okay, well, Michael, milk or dairy in general is something that most singers, vocalists, even theater actors stay away from because it produces lots of excess mucus and phlegm, you know? And it's just, so you can kind of coat your throat with it, and
I would not in a good way coat your throat.
No, exactly. And you find yourself clearing your throat, or maybe being more congested in your sinus. It just tends to make you sound and feel more phlegmy, and that hinders my vocal range. And so I have been dairy free for about 11 years now, and it works for me. I know the Milk Advisory Board isn't going to be, sponsoring me anytime soon on my show because of all this, but again, it's my personal preference, and I'm in no way saying that you can't have it. I just personally don't recommend it.
Insert a bunch of legalese here now. The views expressed here are of JAT and may not be the same as you. It's just my opinion. I'm not a doctor, blah, blah, blah. Please don't sue me or say I said you needed to do anything like me. JAT is in no way responsible for you and your milk consumption.
Got milk?
No, I don't got milk.
Oh, okay. Okay. Edwin Rivas asks, how do you maintain longevity in your career as a voice actor? Voice acting is obviously not a typical 9-to-5 job, so I'm curious, how does steady income, savings, and benefits tie into your career?
Oh, well, it's a great question. Yes, indeed. And
Edwin, I think a lot of folks see me and other voice actors and believe us to be as wealthy as as close to the wealth of the celebrities we work with and sometimes even voice double for. But the truth is, nothing could be farther from that truth. Do voice actors do well? Well, some of us do, and you can. But the thing to remember about voice acting is it's one job at a time, and most are paid the union rate of scale, which is the lowest amount you can be paid as a union actor. Now, that's a whole other topic, but suffice it to say, you have to be able to manage your money as a voice actor. Every day I wake up and pray the phone rings with work. Every day I'm unemployed until someone hires me for a job, be it a promo for Fox or a cartoon series like Guardians of the Galaxy or a video game like Ratchet and Clank. I am an independent contractor, and I'm paid for the session I do, and that's it. I mean, yes, there are residuals for TV and movie projects, but not for video games or promos, trailers, internet, narration, etc. And so I must be wise with my money. I have a corporation that my wife and I are the only employees of, and we run that. That means we have to put into our retirement each year. We have to watch what we spend and make sure I make enough to cover our health insurance, etc. Now, is there a benefit to not being 9 to 5, as you mentioned? Yes. You have time to be with your family a little more. A lot of my work is from home, but the parts that are trickier, I rarely vacation because I have to always be ready to voice stuff. Because if I'm not there, they will hire someone else. And sometimes that's how you lose a long-time job. It's kind of like doing, being a doctor, being on call. I can't be heading out the door and then go to dinner and then I got to go back because there's a promo. Again, it's great work and I'm not complaining. It's just something you have to know is a part of the job. There's no special treatment with voice actors. I can't tell you how many times I've worked on movies and shows where I'm the lead and the celebrities are the guest spots, and they're doing voices in it, but they get handlers and food and cars and special treatment, and they're paid about 10 times more of what I'm paid. But I have to be okay with that because my craft is bringing life to characters. Theirs is being themselves and bringing their name and recognition to the project. So, long answer, but yes, you must know how to save, invest, and spend wisely if you want to be a voice actor, because it's one day at a time and no one is looking out for you but you.
Right. Well said. Very well said.
Okay, number 3 is from Luke Parker, who asks, what's the deciding factor in you picking a role? The franchise or the script?
Well, we're not laughing at you, Luke.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, no, we're not laughing at you, but not to sound like an old disgruntled voice actor, but the notion most people have is that voice actors are treated like other actors, when the truth is though we have followings like all of you following us on Twitter and stuff we're truly grateful for, Hollywood doesn't see us as celebrities at all. And in fact, we have very little in any way of choosing roles, scripts, or franchises to work on. We are the grunts. We don't get to take meetings and meet casting people and pursue a role the way on-camera actors do. Sometimes we are cast by a casting director for a role without auditioning, but that's rare in this day and age for anything other than a guest role on an animated series, that the casting person knows what you can do and that it might fit a role that they need for an episode, and that you can also fill in all those other side roles well. It's this wonderful work from the casting directors that keeps us day players working, and we are ever so grateful for all of them. A voice actor's day is spent auditioning and hoping to shine through the literal thousands upon thousands of other people auditioning too. In an average month, I may audition for over 100 different roles, shows, commercials, promos, games, etc. And I may only book one or two of them, and in some months, none of them. And in this day and age, with so many people trying to get into the business, that is actually a good ratio. Now, back 10, 15 years ago, I could book 5 or 6 things for my monthly auditions, and I got to tell you, it was more fun and better for my ego. But even with my ratio now, I'm considered one of the lucky ones that works a lot, because most of my work comes from things I've booked in the past. Characters, campaigns I've known for, Fox, Amica Insurance. I'm considered, again, a lucky one. So would I like to see voice actors being able to actually get to pick roles and go after them? Absolutely. I think that with the interest voice acting has from all of you, it's my hope that Hollywood will someday realize and actually bring more than a funny voice or a sound to the table. We are actually talented performers whose names are recognized by our fans. Someday.
Someday, indeed. Yes, it is tough. We don't want to come off wrong here with these answers or negative sounding, but the entertainment industry is filled with ego and attitude that you have to, develop this thick skin about it. I always say voice acting is the best job in the world, but it doesn't mean that it's the easiest or that there's really any appreciation for it in Hollywood. Okay, so Jat, I think we've got time for at least one more question here. Yeah, are we good?
Oh yeah, let's do it. Hey, I'm all set.
Great.
Yeah,
well,
great.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine two because they were kind of similar to each other. Jake Andrade and Andy Vosser, they both asked about your faith and work that may not be in line with it. How do you deal with adult content as someone who's a family-friendly persona?
Ooh, yeah, no, it's a great question. It is something I deal with. And while I have done a couple shows and projects early on in my career that were adult-oriented, like Drawn Together or The Boondocks, even some of the language in the Siphon Filter series where I was Gabe Logan, that had some profanity in it that I wasn't the most comfortable with, but each of those I made a choice to do them because of the people involved, and always with the understanding that I may ask to change some of the things at times that I'm not as comfortable with. Now, it really is about each project individually, and if you feel as though it's going to get in the way of your faith or walk with God, well then, I also spend a lot of time in prayer on whether or not to do something, like Drawn Together, for example. But at the end of the day, I felt it was better for me as a Christian to be able to do the show and be honest with what I was comfortable doing, rather than simply saying no and perhaps looking a bit judgmental in the process, which I don't want to do. I love the creators of that show and believe that their message was, isn't this just a ridiculous world that we're living in here? And so I embraced it and went with it. And to tell you the truth, I did some of my best work and more voices than I could have ever imagined on that show. But now, let me say that I do not recommend watching it for anyone other than a very adult audience. Drawn Together is not a kid's show. It's extremely crude. Don't go looking for it on the internet now, kids, okay? I make a concerted effort now to only do family-friendly content. And I do it, in fact, I turn down a lot of roles in animation and video games all the time now on a regular basis. But if it's something that I feel has a good message and the language is needed for a point, I'll consider it. I'll pray about it, whether or not to take a role. You just really have to do what you're comfortable with and what you feel after praying about it. If you're someone of faith, that is. And if you have faith, you have to have faith that more work is going to come your way by stepping out and saying no to some, that others will come and say yes to you. So, I found plenty of work without taking the adult content shows. I really have. I believe I always will.
Look, James, that's great. And that is about all the time we have. So thanks, Jat. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
Please subscribe and thumbs up this video and spread the word. The more subscribers, the more content and time we can devote to this channel, which we love doing.
Yes. Also, hey, remember, you can submit questions for Ask JAT at jamesarnoldtaylor.com or jatactor.com, or simply click the link below the screen to take you there, and then click on the JAT Show link and submit your questions.
Yes. And be sure to select Ask JAT in the scroll down menu at the top of the Ask JAT submission page. Don't leave it blank, okay?
Yes, very important. Also, make sure that you check out past episodes and videos on my channel, okay? Great stuff there.
You mean my channel?
Well, our channel then, right?
Our channel. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Okay, right. Well, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next time right here on Ask JAT.
Yes.
Or me. Next.
You?
Me, you,
me. No, it's them.
I know.
I got you. I got you there. Okay. All right.
Okay.